welcome back to another video, and today we're reading The Puppy Place Rascal chapter 8 to 9. We're nearly at the last chapter of this book. We'll be starting a new one very soon. I hope you enjoy these reading books because they take me quite a long time, so I'm hoping you enjoy them, because I've had a couple of comments on some reading videos that have said that you guys enjoy them, so can I get a big thumbs up on these videos to help me be able to do more. When Lizzie got home from the stable, she found Charles and her mum in the kitchen. She was starving. Writing definitely gave her an appetite. "What's for supper?" she asked. She bent down to pat Rascal, who was boinging and barking. Sorry. He was always so happy to see her. That felt good. When she straightened up, she saw the frown on her mother's face, and Charles had his finger over his lips, giving her the shh sign. The bean copied Charles, shushing Lizzie noisily. "Shh, shh." "Uh-oh." "Well," said Mum, "we were going to have meatloaf, but..." She folded her arms and glared down at Rascal. "When I was upstairs looking up recipes on the computer, somebody found out that he could jump high enough to reach the hamburger on the counter." Rascal stopped bouncing for a second and sat up, looking at them. Why did everyone look mad? Weren't they proud of his new trick? How many dogs could jump that high? He was a very, very good jumper, even if he did say so himself. Yeah. And now that he had discovered the countertop, life in the kitchen wasn't going to be nearly so boring. Lizzie shook her head at Rascal. He stared up at her with her black button eyes gleaming and his stubby tail wagging. How could such a naughty dog be so cute? "What are we going to do with you?" she asked. "We're going to find him a home, that's what." "But Mum," Charles said, "who will take him if he acts this way?" Now it was Lizzie's turn to give her brother the shh sign. He was just upset because meatloaf was one of his favourite dinners. "We'll keep working on his training," she promised her mum. "Great," said Mum, "but you need help. So I've signed you up for a private lesson with Jamie. She's coming over tonight." "Here?" said Lizzie. She didn't know that dog trainers made house calls. She said it's important for the whole family to know how to train Rascal. "Hello, Penny. Can you move out the way, please?" You guys might remember Penny, my cat, from, I think it was Snowball chapter 7 maybe, that I was reading on my bed and Penny came to join me. So yeah, she's come to join us again. She wants us all here. Mum didn't look too excited about the lesson. Dad liked the idea though. It'll be fun," he said when he got home with 2 pizzas he picked up for dinner. Mum had obviously called to tell him about Rascal and the hamburger meat. They'd barely finished eating when the doorbell rang. Rascal started boinging and barking in his loud, high-pitched bark. The bean put down his pizza crust and barked along. Mum put her hands over her ears. Lizzie ran for the door. "Hi, Jamie," she said when she opened it. "Hi, Lizzie," Jamie answered. "Tell you what, let's try this again. I'll go out and wait a minute and then ring the doorbell. If Rascal starts barking..." "He will," said Lizzie. "When Rascal starts barking," Jamie said with a smile, "try throwing this down near his feet. Don't hit him with it, and make sure he can't really tell where it's coming from." She handed Lizzie a soda can with pennies inside it and the top taped shut. "I've used one of these before," said Lizzie. "When we were testing Shadow, the dog who was learning to be a guide dog. We tossed a penny can near him to see if it would scare him. It didn't." "Great," said Jamie. "Well, this time, the penny can is just supposed to give Rascal something else to think about. If he stops barking because he's surprised or curious, you can praise him and give him a treat." "Let's try it," said Lizzie. She shut the door on Jamie and went back to the kitchen. Climbing over the baby gate, she quickly explained the plan to the rest of her family. Then she stood near Rascal until the doorbell rang again. When it did, Rascal started barking. Lizzie threw the can. "Hey, what was that?" Rascal heard the jangly noise and wondered where it came from. But he was too busy to bark and stop to find out now. After all, he had a job to do. He had to let his people know that someone was at the door. Well, that didn't work so well, Jamie admitted when Lizzie answered the door again. But don't worry, we'll try some other things. Rascal was still barking as Lizzie and Jamie came into the kitchen. Rascal! Dad yelled. Cut it out! Dad was not usually a yeller, but everyone was tired of Rascal's barking. I know it's frustrated, Jamie said, but you have to try not to yell at him. Try to think like a dog. If he hears you yelling, he thinks you're just barking too, and he'll want to bark along. But what else can we do? Mum asked, taking her hands off her ears to hear Jamie's answer. Ignore him, Jamie suggested. Wait till he winds down, then praise him. They ignored Rascal. They ignored him some more. He just kept barking and boinging. Or, Jamie said finally, you could try spraying him with a little water, or water mixed with vinegar. She pulled a spray bottle out of her bag and sprayed Rascal when he wasn't looking. Hey, what was that? It didn't usually rain indoors. Rascal twirled around in a circle, trying to figure out where the water was coming from. The barking stopped. Oh, finally, said Dad. Oh, said Mum. Good dogs, said Jamie to Rascal, giving him a biscuit. Now, she said, maybe we can get some training done. Jamie stayed for over an hour working with Rascal and the Petersons. Rascal tried to pay attention, he really did, but it was boring to sit, and even more boring to stay. Twirling and jumping was so much more fun. Thanks for coming, Mum said when the exhausted Peterson said goodnight to Jamie. Oh, you're welcome. I wish I could help more, but the truth is, Rascal may never be a great house pet. Charles and Lizzie looked at each other. I'll make some phone calls, Jamie went on. I know a lady who takes dogs on her farm. Maybe Rascal could stay with her for a while. The dog's going to get a lot of attention, but at least he had a place to live. Mum and Dad nodded, but Charles and Lizzie shook their heads. The farm part sounded good, but Rascal loved people and needed attention. They would have to keep trying to find him the right home, and they didn't have much time left. That's chapter 9. So you guys are probably thinking, now it's time for me to end the video. But it's not. We're doing chapter 10 as well. Yeah. So, yeah. Now we're doing chapter 9. We did chapter 8 now. Now we're doing chapter 9. So, Penny came over for some attention. So here she is. You guys have a quick look at her. How gorgeous is she? She's a ragdoll cross Persian, and she's so lovely. She always sleeps on my bed at night. So Penny wants to be a YouTube superstar too, just like me. And if you guys notice something about Penny that you've probably seen before, maybe have a look at my front picture. My front icon on the Happy Bookworm, maybe have a look at that. It's Penny's face. I got a picture of Penny because she's so adorable, and I put a picture of her on my icon. So that's why you might have thought you've seen her before, because that's her. But she's very beautiful, isn't she, guys? She's very playful, loves people. She adores it when people come over and play with her. And she's a ragdoll cross Persian. Now this is the second time you've seen her, so yeah. Alright, now we've got the Puppy Place chapter 9. Are you sure this is a good idea? Dad asked when he dropped Lizzie, Charles and Rascal at the stable the next day after school. Rascal was going to meet Kathy, and then Charles was going to watch him while Lizzie took a riding lesson. Kathy said I should bring him, Lizzie said. Maybe she'll have some good ideas about training Rascal. Okay, Dad said. Just make sure to keep him on the leash. We don't want him getting in trouble. Maria was waiting. Hi, Rascal, she said, bending down to give the puppy a hug. You are such a cutie. Kathy's gonna love you. Where is Kathy? Lizzie asked. Probably in the barn, Maria said. She led the way into the stables. Rascal followed, pulling on the leash Lizzie was holding. What a great place. Rascal loved all the wonderful smells. There was so much to explore here. And look, what were these huge animals? Were they giant dogs? Rascal likes the horses, Lizzie said, laughing as Rascal pulled her along, stopping in every stall to sniff and greet any horses who looked down to see his little face peeping under their stall doors. Charles agreed. He's so excited he's not even barking. Rascal darted from stall to stall, tugging Lizzie behind him. Suddenly there was a loud booming noise from the end of the aisle. Sir Galahad! The big horse was kicking his stall walls again. She wondered if the noise would scare Rascal, but he didn't look scared at all. In fact, he pulled even harder in that direction. He wanted to meet Sir Galahad, Lizzie told Charles, but that's probably not a good idea. She could picture the giant little dog getting trampled by the gigantic horse or even kicked. Just then, Kathy stepped out of Minx's stall carrying the pitchfork and wiping her forehead. "Whew," she said. "Last stall of the day. Now they're clean. Hey, is this Rascal?" She knelt down and opened her arms, and Rascal pulled so hard that Lizzie had to let go of the leash. The little dog flew towards Kathy, licking her face as she gathered him into a hug. "Well, hello there, cutie. Aren't you something?" Rascal liked this lady. He liked her very, very much. And he could tell that she liked him too. Kathy hugged Rascal close, and Lizzie could see tears in her eyes. She knew that Kathy must be thinking of her old dog, Pepper, but Kathy was smiling too. "He's just darling," Kathy said finally, standing up and brushing straw off her jeans. "She's going to be bigger than my old dog, and he has more brown spots than Pepper did, but I can tell he had a good personality. Always in a good mood, always curious, always looking for trouble." "That's Rascal," Lizzie and Charles said together. Lizzie introduced her brother. "Welcome to the stable," Kathy said, smiling at Charles. "You've got your hands full with this guy. Jacks aren't easy to train, but they're worth the work. Pepper was the best dog once he decided to listen to me. Well, at least once in a while." She sighed. Then she gave her a little shake. "Well, ready for your lesson?" she asked Lizzie. "Definitely," Lizzie said. "I think Wayne has Sally tacked up for you already," Kathy said. "Wayne," she called down the aisle. A man emerged from the tack room. "Sally's all set," he called back. "Want to meet Rascal?" Kathy asked her husband. Lizzie saw Wayne shake his head. "Busy," he said, turning around quickly and walking out of the barn. Kathy shrugged. "Don't mind him. He just misses Pepper. They were great friends," she said. "Now, what's Rascal going to do while you and Maria ride?" "Charles is going to watch him," Lizzie said. Kathy gave Charles thumbs up. "Excellent, let's go." She led the way to the riding ring where Sally was waiting. Once Lizzie was sitting in the saddle, Sally dropped the bombshell. "No more lead line. You're on your own today. You're the boss. You can tell Sally which way to go and how fast." "You mean like—" Lizzie felt her heart pound. "How fast?" she asked. "You mean like I should make her trot or something?" She knew that trotting was next fastest after walking. Then came cantering and galloping. There was no way she was ready for either of those. Even trotting sounded scary, especially since she knew that she would have to start learning how to post. Posting meant bouncing up and down in time with the horse's movements. Lizzie had seen Maria do it, but she had no idea how to do it herself. "We'll start with a walk. Sally's in no hurry. She could walk all day." She grinned at Lizzie. "Go on now. Tell her to giddy up and start around the ring clockwise." Lizzie clucked her tongue and gave Sally a little kick. When Sally started moving, she pulled on the outside rein like the way Kathy had taught her, and Sally turned. "Wow," Lizzie said out loud. She couldn't stop smiling. She was riding. Lizzie forgot everything for the half an hour. She was concentrating so hard on her lesson that she probably wouldn't have noticed if the barn stood up and walked away. But she did notice when Charles started shouting. "Rascal!" he yelled. "Rascal, where are you?" The little spotted dog was nowhere in sight. Oh no! What happened to Rascal? Well, I'll show you in chapter 10. See you later.